Rogue, a story as old as time. You can pick up any of these decks and find some sort of success with these. So today, we're going to be talking about 5. That's right, 5 Rogue decks I think you can find success with. We'll be revisiting this come early March as we do like a full breakdown on everything that you can be playing around with at that point in time. So stay tuned for that. We're going to talk about some Rogue today, shall we? Make sure you guys smash the ever-living crap out of that subscribe button so you don't miss out on more excellent discussions like this, baby. So, we have Madolche as our first Rogue pick for this. Now, Madolche, a lot of you might be looking at and going, "Oh, really, Robbie? The candy treats? Yeah, you bet your butt, buddy, old pal." So, Madolche still does what Madolche does best in a Rogue setting environment. This deck destroys meta. Like, also to be fair, like, a lot of boards right now are ending on, like, Dragoon and, like, possibly 1 to 5 other negates. I know that's very vague in the grand scheme of things, but the candy little treats have a good time controlling, you know, bits and pieces of that metagame. Also, if you blink, you can get OTK'd by this deck. Letting a Madolche resolve across the table as you go, oh, that's a saloon into like a possible game. It's actually like hilarious, like how weird it is, because one little piece of little candy spirals things out of control. So if you want to play a decent, I mean, it's expensive, I'm gonna be honest with you, this is more like for the people that still have it and have enjoyed it throughout the course of time. Yes, I think the candy little treats are a very fun Rogue deck. Glass Flow. Tiaramisu's not targeting, by the way. The fact that Tiaramisu doesn't target literally is just free resource generation for the deck. Hey, you want to shuffle back a Dragoon? No problem, man. You can do it. All because the cute little treats go, nah, it doesn't matter. We can do whatever we want with this deck. So that's actually kind of cool. Alright, well, with that being said, though, we also have, well, this one feels bad. We have to talk about Unchained. Now, I love Unchained conceptually as a deck. I think it's really cool for what it can do, but my problem is going to be this with the deck. Unfortunately, with Dragoon running around in today's metagame, you're going to have a lot of issues with it, alright? And that's the sad part, because a lot of the metagame right now is going to be, can you break Dragoon? Now, you can play Kaijus to beat the metagame, right? Like, obviously, Godarla is starting to be the Kaiju of choice that you'd want to look towards, because it bubbles down on your TriBrigade matchup. But with that being said, though, how good is it going to be? Well, if every deck in the format is some sort of Dragoon variant, well, then you're going to see poor Unchained get shoved all the way to the back of the room, and nobody's going to want to play it. So I do think that we're probably going to see Drytron go into like this deep-seated, quiet depression for a little while, just sitting in a corner going, I can't really do anything. And that's the sad part at this point in time. Like, Unchained was so good last format. The reason for that was there was a lot better Rogue decks that it could really, like, go against. Like, True King of All Calamities is just like, okay, cool, like, stick guy on field, set a bunch of stuff, go. You also had, like, quick effects and stuff that you can interact with through the opponent. It wasn't too bad of a matchup, but Mr. Indestructible Dragoon Man just makes this deck's time so much worse. So, if any of you Unchained players out there have the formulae down for this, I would love to hear about it. Because just seeing the struggle that these players are constantly enduring with right now for this deck is actually really sad. So, I'm sure Coder will come up with something, hopefully somewhere along the way, that will push this deck at least into another successful Rogue spot. I do think it is definitely worth talking about in the Rogue category right now. If you can play in an event with like not a crazy amount of Dragoons at that point in time. Now, number 3 on our list here is TriBrigade. Alright, so TriBrigade, basically, I'm going to talk about it as like an engine. So obviously, like, Bird Up is going to be like your meta approach. Like, everybody knows like Samorg or with like the Lyrical List is like the meta go-to build, right? So like you have that riding between like meta and non-meta at this point in time. But what happens when we've covered Fire Fist Brigade on this channel? we've seen that they're splicing in, what is it, like a little bit of the Ancient Warrior package is like additional special summon extenders. We also are playing, what is it? Gladiator Beast Brigade we've seen. If you can play like a Beast Warrior, Beast deck to some degree, you can find rogue success right now with the engine. Alright, you still end on what the meta deck ends on, it's just you get your flavor of like, do I want to play Fire Fist? Do I want to play Gladiator Beast? Do I want to pull from these other archetypes? Or do I want to play the more meta build? The decision is up to you, but the cool thing is that TriBrigade right now did get pushed down from what a lot of us were predicting to be like super meta at this point in time, like competing with Dragon Link and, you know, Alistair and friends. Like, it's hard, you know, especially like Eldritch running guys. Like, the big three are literally bullying this deck back down into its hole. So while the deck is incredibly still good, you're still going to run into more of those issues of, well, still TriBrigade. Obviously, like I said, you're going to push towards the Godarla side of things so that your barrier statue can be outed. Yeah, it really stinks because in that mirror match, like, Godarla doesn't do anything. But once again, what's your flavor going to be? You want to be TriBrigade? You want to be Gladiator Beast? You want to be Fire Fist? You want to be Ancient Warrior? Like, what do you want to do with TriBrigade? All right. Next up on our list here is a Virtual World, though. Now, this is really weird. Virtual World was meta for so long. All right, like, whoo! Tricking of All Calamities did that deck so much justice. So I put it into the Rogue category for this video because Chuchi, still a good card. You can still end on Crystal Wing, what is it? Dark Magician, Dragoon Man, and Chuchi for an interruption. Other builds had you ending on, what was it? Beatrice, Exabeetle, and Chuchi. I don't think that the Exabeetle play is as good, but a lot of other people would strongly disagree with me. So as you can see, like, Virtual World became fair in terms of current metagame development. And then a lot of people was like, yeah, well, Virtual World was always kind of fair. Shame on you. Your boards feel a little bit more fair. Dragoon's Crystal Wing, Chuchi is not too crazy overpowered. It's what, like 2 negates? I think the basic Yu-Gi-Oh deck at this point in time, for like it to be tier 2 and above, can produce 2 negates. So if you can set up 2 negates and your opponent plays through it, well, you're probably going to lose. That's just how modern Yu-Gi-Oh is going about its life right now. It's really sad to say that, because 2 negates used to be like all gung-ho, and the further that we power creep ourselves along the ladder here, it gets a whole lot worse. I'm still waiting to see if we're going to see any level of Virtual World innovation besides what we've already seen. Like, if they can find out some other cool, crazy combo here to kind of push the deck a little bit further, it might be worth putting back into the tier 1.5 category. But until that time comes, you're just going to be looking at like Rogue status all day long for Virtual World. So I do think that the deck is still good, but it's not good. Alright, and the last deck I want to talk about here for the whole Rogue breakdown is Drytron. Now, I think that honestly Drytron has pretty much fallen off the map here. I'm only mentioning it because there's still combos I've seen the deck do. I've seen builds go back to the Megalith package for the time being. We do have the Exceed on the horizon here, and the Exceed will eventually change things, yes. The Exceed might actually make this deck take back its former tier 1 status. We'll have to wait and see for that day to come. But for now, I think Megalith is going to be your backbone structure that you're going to see players pushing with this. The hit Ben 10-1 hurt this deck. So did Union Carrier. Union Carrier literally bullied this deck so hard. Like, now they can't Dawn Knight continue combo, which is probably the way it should have been, honestly. So if you're a Drytron player, I also like want to hear, like, what cool combos are you guys doing? Like, is Megalith going to be the backbone of what you're going to see yourself playing here in the near future? Is there like some cool crazy development that's coming here? I want to hear about it. I'm curious. I want to educate myself on these cool Rogue decks and see. So this is my top 5 for now. Like I said, when April rolls around, we'll reanalyze this. We'll talk like down through the tiers here, and we'll see where these decks are coming. We'll see if Ghost from the Past makes any sort of splash on the metagame whatsoever. Probably not, but that's a story for another day. So guys, make sure you guys smash the ever-living heck crap thing out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on any more excellent content. And I'll see your beautiful faces back here later on in the day for some more cool, awesome content. Peace out. Thank you, patrons, for making the ride never truly end. Without you guys' support, well, I would probably be doing Truffle Shuffle videos for a living. Guys, please check out VanCole40 for all of your Cardfight Vanguard content brought to you by MCole40. And if you are looking to pick up singles, check out mcolegames.com for your trading card game needs. Thanks for watching, everybody.